My name's Lottie Mason. I was one of the location managers on Warhorse whilst we were filming in Castle Combe. Our role was to find the locations and source them, and then once we'd found them, facilitate them and sort of run the filming and work between the residents in the village and the film crew itself.
We are at war!
I promise you that I'll look after him, and if I can, I'll return him to your care.
The village scene was in the script right from the beginning, so we sort of knew what we were working towards. And we were looking for, essentially the word chocolate box village was used. We wanted something incredibly beautiful and that would also sort of match in with Devon, where obviously the film's set. The brickwork and the architecture is fantastic for that. We needed, obviously it's period piece, 1914, we needed a village that could believably sort of exist in that time, so we don't have too many telegraph poles or, you know, modern buildings or anything like that, which worked very well.
In the morning, we'll get there before the crew arrive quite early. Security basically comes under the location department. We work very, very closely with them, so we'll work out where we need to position them, where they need to be. So there was a lot of that. The village itself also, you know, gets a lot of visitors. It's a very beautiful place, and though we closed the road to cars, we couldn't keep the public, you know, it's a public right of way, so you know they can come through and do whatever, and it's people's homes. So we spent a lot of time trying to, you know, get residents through and around the crew, and people, you know, people really moving about and doing their day-to-day life whilst we shot the film.
He won't be any good in the war neither. He shies at every sound.
I'm sorry.
With Joe's going, I'm going too. I'm volunteering.
I did want to work in film. I hadn't really considered locations. I went to Goldsmiths University and I met a tutor there who I started doing work experience with. And then when I graduated, I realised that I really wanted to be on set a bit more. And I was applying for sort of all sorts of jobs and got an internship in a location agency. So that was brilliant, but it was still quite office-based, so then I wanted to get out there. So I left about 2-3 years ago now and went freelance and work on the individual films themselves. I actually went to a screening last week for a film that we finished called The Woman in Black, which I think is coming out in about a month. And then before that I was on, I did One Day, which was the film that was out over the summer. Did a bit on Jack, the Giant Killer, which hasn't come out yet but is in post-production at the moment.
Let every man make himself and his country proud.
Try everything, because when you're starting, you won't necessarily know where you want to fall into. So, you know, just take really whatever opportunities that you can and, you know, enjoy them for the experience as well as what you're trying to get out in the long term. It took me, from leaving university, I think I went probably for about 25 or 30 interviews before I got in, you know, with the location agency, and it you know, it can take, sometimes it'll be one interview and sometimes it'll be a lot more, but I think it's just sticking with it.